There is an epidemic of negativity, but take heart. You can overcome the world. Hey guys, it's John out here on the back deck, drinking my beautiful mug of coffee. Our world has a epidemic of negativity going on right now. But there's light at the end of that tunnel. The negativity is waning. People are getting tired of the negativity. People are getting tired of being negative all the time or complaining all the time. People are getting tired of it. They're looking for something, more loving, more joyful. And they're starting to see the light. But the epidemic of negativity is only perpetuated if we become the carriers of it. The epidemic only happens if we tend to carry the negativity. I often tell people who are highly empathic that they should learn this simple phrase. That's theirs, not mine. When someone comes up to you in negativity, that's theirs, not mine. That's theirs, not mine. The second you can release the emotional reaction to their negativity by saying it's theirs, not mine, you release the actual acceleration, the accelerant of the negativity. You see, people come and they come to you with negativity to elicit a reaction because they're looking for compatriots in their negativity. They're looking for people who will support their negativity. And when you say that's theirs, not mine, somebody comes up and goes, I'm sorry you feel that way. I completely disagree. And you just move on. They'll either run away and go find somebody else to be negative to, which is usually what happens with a negative person. They come to you. If you don't feed their negativity, they'll go to someone else, point at you, and say, look what they just did to me. They just cast me off. You believe they don't believe what I believe? And they'll find somebody else to be negative with, right? But the more of us who actively say, that's theirs, not mine, I am joyful. I am living a loving life. I'm happily creating. I am seeing people for who they are, and I'm recognizing those moments when they're in fear. And negativity is just fear. And when we allow our bodies to react to that fear, the reaction itself is also a fear. I often say be an action hero, not a reaction zero. That means in those moments when they're giving you this opportunity to be negative, you stay in action and say, no, I'm not going to be negative. That's theirs, not mine. And you put yourself in that position of saying, okay, I'm sorry you feel that way. For me, I've had a lot of practice at this because of my YouTube channel, right? I get negative comments every day almost. Please don't get me wrong. When I say something like that, the negative comments are very, very, very few and far between. I get many, 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 many more positives than negatives. But that's the nature of the YouTube beast. That's the nature of social media in general, is it can be a faceless place where people can say whatever they want. And they'll say some of the harshest things sometimes. But in my case, most of the time, they're saying beautiful things. And the reality of it is this epidemic of negativity, it wears off because of the fact that people get tired of being negative. People get really tired because it takes a lot of energy to be negative. Fear is a heavy emotion. Joy is a light one, right? When you're going through joyful experiences in life, you're literally feeling lighter because you're not carrying the burden. The Beatles used to say, man, that's a drag or that's heavy, right? They were talking about the negative emotions. They were talking about the negative emotions being literally weighty, right? I could fly like an eagle. There's all these other songs that talk about these various, things about flight and being, in the air and feeling light. That's joy. That's the positivity of joy. That's the positivity of love, is not having the burdens of fears and anxieties. The Buddha said the secret to enlightenment is the eradication of fear. Well, when you recognize fear coming to you in this epidemic of negativity, you be the antidote by not feeding or not being the carrier of that negativity for someone else. See them beautifully. See them in a wonderful space. Even when they're negative, recognize they're a beautiful person inside. They're just afraid. They're just struggling. And when you become the person who doesn't make them struggle, you become the antidote. The more of us that become the antidote, the more of us who tend to live in a loving world and express love to others, the more of us there are, because those who we've expressed it to have received the antidote, and they become more positive and become more joyful, become more loving. We can break the epidemic of negativity one person at a time, and that one person is you. You choose to say that's theirs, not mine, and then show them what love really is. Accept them for they are. I'm sorry you feel that way. That's a terrible, terrible way to live. I'm living a joyful life. People, you'll see that in my comments section every so often. Somebody will say something horrible, and I'll say something like, I'm not living your life. I'm living a beautiful, wonderful, loving life. And they get mad at me usually. But it's okay. It's okay. The reason is because each one of us is on our own journey. We're only responsible for our journey. We're not responsible for their journey. And if we allow their journey to affect ours negatively, we're living their life and not our own. Step into your divinity. Embrace your joy. Embrace your love. Put it out there in a way that people see you smiling. Drink your coffee, because that always makes you smile, doesn't it? That's the point. Find joy in every aspect of your day. Find joy in those moments where someone's in front of you that is being negative, and you just go, I'm sorry you feel that way. How about we go have an ice cream cone? you know, yes, something, something that completely changes their perspective. Joshua used to look at people when they were being ridiculous, and he'd just go, and they would start to laugh because they would recognize that he was showing them how ridiculously negative they were being. In the secret, someone said, "That what you think about, you bring about." So they're thinking negative, and they're bringing it about in their lives. Why would you want to take that handoff? You really don't. You want to live a joyful, happy life surrounded by people you love, who you love in return. The only way that negative person has the experience that you're creating in your life is be the person who loves them in return first. And once you love them in return first, then they see you as a loving person, as a caring person, as someone who's looking out for them. And then they feel safe with you and they feel good about you. Their good feelings, their joy feelings bubble up when they're around you. They smile. I often talk about going into the grocery store and exhaling and releasing all my fears before I go in. As I walk through the store, people smile at me. Why is that? Why are they smiling at me? They're smiling at me because I am being love. I am being joy. I am being fearlessness. And all negativity comes from fear. And there's nothing to be afraid of if you are creating a joyful, loving world. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day. And I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.